So blood sugars are perennially fascinating to me because of their connection with everything. It's, that the phrase "you are what you eat" is so, it just doesn't cease to amaze me the more that we fall down this rabbit hole. Because when we first when we first came up with the triangle, Laura and I had no idea of how in depth blood sugars actually were and how much they connect to everything. It's almost like every time we do these talks, we discover more and more and more and more and more. And then it cements for us even more actually how the chronic health crisis that we are seeing across humanity right now is very much of our own doing. In the
And
words
what's
of Radiohead, you do
exciting,
it to yourself, you do.
what's exciting is that we have so many wonderful tools to get blood sugars under control. And it's the first thing that we look at is that you're absolutely right. The big stuff, we can just park that and let's focus in on this area because we have got a brilliant toolkit for it.
Yeah, absolutely. So the four, there are about 8 blood sugar hormones, but there's 4 that we focus on commonly because they're the most prevalent, and also they have so many different connections. So insulin, obviously our blood sugar lowering hormone. Estrogen stimulates cells that line blood vessels to deliver insulin to muscles. So when we have an imbalance of estrogen, we won't be delivering insulin to muscles. So too much estrogen can affect that communication. So this is where the estrogen insulin issue starts to happening and we become insulin resistant. So either we have too much insulin or we're not able to get enough. It's like it just messes up all the insulin signaling. High insulin creates the enzyme aromatase, which makes estrogen. And increased estrogen results in insulin secretion. So around and around and around we go. So the cake is not our friend. It's not a treat for our body. Doesn't mean we have to try and be perfect. It just means we have to balance our blood sugars. Leptin is an absolutely fascinating hormone. So leptin is a fullness hormone that tells you you're full and it regulates your appetite. Estrogen and leptin both act on overlapping neurons in the hypothalamus, that are part of the endocrine and central nervous system, to regulate long-term energy balance and fertility. So again, fertility issues, we're coming back to the triangle. And leptin also stimulates gonadotropin releasing hormone and luteinizing hormone and follicular stimulating hormone. So blood sugars have a huge effect on our cycles and whether we're anovulatory and whether we're fertile. Huge, absolutely huge. It just astonishes me. I still always come back to how can doctors just not think that what we eat is important? It's so mind blowing when the science is there. Again, maybe I've got primary school science. I don't know. Ghrelin, or I like to call it the gremlin, because it's what makes your tummy rumble. Estrogen actually increases the secretion of ghrelin, making us hungry. So when we have people who are estrogen dominant, they're hungrier. It's actually one of the signs of estrogen dominance. And we also have in obesity, that's one of the triggers of food addiction, is that people are constantly hungry because of this issue with the insulin secretion and the ghrelin. And then we have cholecystokinin, and estradiol cyclically increases the activity of the cholecystokinin satiation signaling pathway. So CCK is the hormone that tells us that we're sort of done with eating. I definitely have always needed more of that hormone. So CCK is that hormone, and also it's to do with gut motility, and estradiol will start to change the signaling pathway of CCK.